Alright, so what is your name?
James Braun.
And what is your age?
I'm 21.
Would you like me to use a different name for my presentation?
No, that's fine. James is good.
Okay, how long have you been in this group?
Ever since it started, there was an email sent out asking who wanted to revive the club, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I can kind of take charge on that. So it's been about a year, yeah, give or take.
What's the best experience that you've had?
Best experience I've had, just meeting other writers and like connecting with other people who share the same passion as I do. I think that's very important, and it means a lot. So it's pretty cool.
What's the worst experience that you've had?
I don't think we've had any like bad experiences. I don't know. I think everything's been pretty good so far. I mean, nothing's been horrible, so I can't really say. So.
Who are you in the group? Like, are you the president?
I am the president of this group. Yeah.
Do you enjoy your position?
I do. I get to make things up as I go. That's basically my job. It's fun though. I like to write up lesson plans and just help people. Since I have this position, it gives me a little more authority, which obviously I don't abuse. But yeah, I get to help people more. I get to connect with more people, and I always say, like, if anybody needs any help, they can always come to me. I'm happy to look over any work, anything they might have. So yeah, I like it a lot. So.
How did you obtain this position?
By dictatorship, I guess, in a way, because like I said, with the whole email thing, I just said like, yeah, I'll do it. So I was kind of just automatically appointed to the position. So it was one of those things.
What drew you to the group, and what inspired you to join it?
I've always loved writing. I personally write short stories and fiction. I just have a passion for it. I mean, for a long time I kind of struggled with what I wanted to do, and when I did figure it out, that I was going to go into like writing fiction and maybe eventually teaching fiction, that just kind of got me going on it. So.
I assume that your favorite kind of writing is fiction as well?
Yes, that is right. I'm decently read in like poetry and like nonfiction, but fiction is mostly where my heart's at. I don't know. I feel like in fiction, even though like it's a made-up story, there's some truth in that, So I like that a lot. So.
Would you recommend joining this group to someone who wants to write?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Why not? Or why?
Mostly because like a lot of people find it difficult to find time to write. Being a college student, it makes things hard. It's mostly hard for people to find the time to write, and like coming here, it gives them that time. It also gives them time to share the work that they have with others, which, in my opinion, is very important. That way you're not only writing for yourself, but you get to share it with other people. So it's a lot of fun. So I would definitely highly recommend it. So yes.
If you were starting all over again as a freshman, where would you first start?
Oh God, me as a freshman was horrible. I was a physical therapy major, so if I could start over, I would definitely start sooner with creative writing, because I personally hopped around with majors for a very long time, and it was just kind of hard trying to find what I wanted to do with my own life. It was one of those kind of things. But once I found it, I'm just kind of sticking with it. So.
There are a lot of stereotypes and assumptions that people have with writers. Do you know what some of those are?
Yeah, like the guy smoking a pipe, or like walks around with, I forget, like certain jackets, or just they have that look about them. I personally don't think I look like a writer. Like everyone, looks at me and they wouldn't think that basically. There's all these different stereotypes. Like I said, with the pipe. And I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, the coffee shops. Okay, I like coffee, so like maybe I do fit into that stereotype. But you know, like there are many writers who don't fit within those things. You know, like people enjoy different things. Like being a writer doesn't define their personality. You know, if that makes sense. That's just the way I see it. So yeah.
Do you feel like after joining this group, you have learned how to better work with a team?
Oh yeah, I would say so. In this group, we workshop twice a month. So what that does is like you kind of get together and you're able to help each other out and you know, take suggestions, make suggestions, and in doing so, like you are working with the team, and that's personally helped me a lot. I've always been very shy sharing my own work, just because, you know, I don't think it's all that great. But regardless, it's definitely helped me. So, and I know it's helped others as well. So,
Have you gotten more networking opportunities because of this group?
yeah. Networking, like internet.
No, like in your like professional job field, have you gotten more like opportunities of
Oh yeah.
sharing your work with other people?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. Like this group, it helps you grow as a writer, and in doing so, like personally, I've had a couple of my own pieces published in magazines. So like kind of like you're getting your name out there and you're getting your work out there, and just establishing those kind of connections. You know, you get a lot more opportunities as well. And also in the group, if someone feels like they have something that they would like to get published, they can come to me. I can kind of steer them in the right direction of what magazines I think would be a good fit for them. What's that? Come on in. Yeah, there's that. I'm trying to think what else. Also, if you're a creative writing major, there's plenty of internship opportunities. You kind of have those connections as well. Like right now, I'm doing an internship at a correctional facility where I teach inmates how to write with poetry, nonfiction, and fiction. It's a 12-week long program, and for anyone interested, it's awesome. Like the inmates are super respectful, and it's just a fantastic experience. There's also opportunities with publishers. I know Zank Books, they're a publisher in Ann Arbor. They have internship opportunities as well. You can do that. Like if you just look, you know, you can find quite a bit. You know, there's a lot you can do.
Have you been able to expand your resume in any way with this group?
Yeah, I mean, you know, being the whole president thing, you know, it's something to add. And again, like being in this group, you get a lot more opportunities as well, and that kind of adds onto your resume. Like those things that you do outside of the group as well are also going to help you like build your resume and stand out. It's going to help you, you know, stand out more. So.
So, a blog I read about the psychological effects of writing said that writing helps people learn how to communicate better. Do you agree with this, and why?
It's hard because when you're writing is a very solitary act. You're not communicating with anyone except for yourself. It's all in your imagination. But getting your work out there and wanting to share it with people, that helps with communication because you're building those connections. But writing in itself, it's pretty lonely. It's very lonely, and I personally enjoy it. I kind of like being that way, being alone. But then again, like when you get your work out there, like and people love that work, you know, it's very rewarding and like in establishing those connections again, like you can, you know, meet new people, meet new authors, meet people who are like you're going to be establishing like lifelong relationships with other authors, and like that's pretty amazing, you know. So yeah.
The same blog mentions that it helps people get through hard times. Has there been a hard time that you went through that writing has helped you with, and would you like to explain that? If
Oh,
not,
so many.
that's okay.
So many. I guess my first beginning with writing, this is very personal, but I don't really care. So I was once hospitalized for anorexia, and during my recovery stages, like my my mom walked into my room and like put down a notepad and just said, start writing something, maybe it'll help you, you know. And I did, and I just kind of stuck with it. I went to college, and then, I was being a different major. I was a physical therapy major, but eventually, like, the writing just kind of stuck. And like, more and more like bad things happen. I won't really go into that, but like, writing was always there. Like, it never went anywhere, and it never would. It's, it's just that thing you can always come back to. So yes, I believe that writing in itself is very therapeutic in a way, and it definitely helps a lot of people. Even if it's not just writing about yourself, it could be writing. For me, it was fiction. I liked like having control over maybe a different world that wasn't this one that I was living in, if that makes sense. So, I personally, I definitely think it helps. So.
What kind of skills do you think being in and participating in this group have helped you discover?
Great, can you repeat that? Sorry, I zoomed up so now.
What kind of skills do you think that being in and participating in this group have helped you discover?
Skills. Definitely communication for me. I'm generally very shy, and just communicating with people, that seemed to help me a lot. Also just learning to become a better writer. When you share your work with other people, you might think that your work is trying to like accomplish this certain effect, but when someone else reads it, they get something different. And getting that outside perspective, it helps. It helps you grow as a writer. So in terms of that, yeah, you just become a better writer in this group.
Do you think that these skills can help you with any kind of job interest or just a writing job interest?
Oh yeah. Creative writing, a lot of people, like, they always kind of bash on like English majors and creative writing majors. Like they always say like, oh, you won't get a job with that. What do you even do with that? And it's like, there are so many things you can do. You can go into publishing, and I'm like being outside of creative writing, like there's advertising as well. A lot of people are looking for writers. A lot of companies are looking for people who have the ability to write strongly. And that's very important. That's very undermined, in my opinion. So yeah, like there's all these different tracks that you can take.
What advice would you give someone who wants to join this group or have a creative writing major?
Just go for it. If it's really your passion, then just do it. For me, like I was always very wary in terms of writing. I was always concerned that I wouldn't fit anywhere. I wouldn't be able to get a job, which is why I kind of wanted to play it safe with like creative writing, or not creative, sorry, a physical therapy major. And like, okay, that's something like, I've always liked anatomy, and I've always been okay with that kind of stuff, and it's a safe job. With creative writing, there is that assurance of having a job after you graduate, because there's, like I said, there's a lot of people looking for writers. So,